Alright, let's start. Yeah, cool. There we go. Normally this matchup is kind of hard because they do have the tempo with being able to counter my bridge and play an early goif, which my opponent does have goif and remand. You can go ahead and mill that top card that my opponent wanted. They didn't know that I was on Lantern, so pretty simple to just, get rid of that Scryed card. Go ahead and Thoughtseize. And there's a Remand, which is funny because then it draws them into a mana leak. So, so of course I take the mana leak, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that way I can land my bridge next turn. It might have been correct to take Tarmogoyf, but I don't know. So here comes the Tarmogoyf. Go ahead and play my bridge now. And Seal of Fire, and that's really gonna lock the game up at that point, because he has no main deck answer to bridge, especially with Spellskite, if I remember correctly. So game 2. Usually this is much harder because they have access to Ancient Grudge. And Ancestral Visions does make it harder as well. So it's not a bad hand here that my opponent has. I have a pretty decent keeper here too, thanks to Bridge and Crane and Spellskite. And Stirrings can draw me into good stuff. Yeah, go ahead and Stirrings first and get that Lantern, because it's all about getting my stuff going as early as possible. So Lantern and Shredder, so I can try to keep my opponent off of relevant threats now as long as I can. Yeah, I couldn't do anything about the Snapcaster because I had to get rid of the explosives. Go ahead and play the Crane and grab a second bridge here. And take another 3. Get rid of that Snapcaster. Yeah, you gotta play the bridge. And here I'm trying to hold up mana basically for Extirpate if I need to for that Snapcaster, because I can survive and I can Ghost Quarter my opponent off that red mana source. Yeah, so here Extirpate saves my butt, because I can mill, then Extirpate those grudges, and they can't respond to it or anything. And even if they could, if it was a surgical, it still wouldn't matter because he doesn't have the green to flash it back. But in this case, the Extirpate, let's say my opponent, you had the green open, I'd still be okay. So that Extirpate is doing some great things for me. So yeah, he's got another Engineered, another Grudge, and really that's the only answers my opponent has. They have no way to get rid of Bridge from here on out. I could, as long as I don't die to bolts, I'll be okay. And I can just, he's got 2 Snapcasters, so that's 2 bolts. I just have to make sure he doesn't draw any bolts or any more Snapcasters, and I'll be fine. But he does have an Ancestral Vision, so there's that. Yeah. I'm going to play my other bridge and keeping my Ghost Quarter up. That way, if I need to, I can keep my opponent off of red mana. So that's what I do. Unfortunately, he does run a basic mountain, which is weird because usually I don't see that. Usually they don't run basic mountains because in Blood Moon, they're going to have mountains anyways, so why run basics? Yeah, I have to sack the Lantern here. But again, my opponent's only out is the bolts. So as long as I can get Spellskite into play, then I'll be fine. Yeah. So now he's tapped out a blue, so I can easily resolve Spellskite, and that's going to save me against the bolts. Stirrings, grab another lantern, play the lantern with a fairy on top, so now I'm going to start gaining life. And that's pretty much game. Because now he needs to, yeah, it's pretty much impossible. Just keep him off the visions, of course. And that's game. Yeah.